Why would you even try to cancel Sean Strickland? Didn't people learn that it's impossible? That he's not scared to say what he thinks, and he's definitely not susceptible to some specifically targeted questions of liberal Canadian journalists. He's a UFC champion known for his straight to the point, no sugarcoating opinions. At the most recent interview at UFC 297 Strickland versus Duplessis, one of those liberal journalists started asking him about LGBTQ community, about trans rights, and having heard Sean's answers, that journalist started tweeting lies about him. I'll read all these tweets in a minute for you. Not only do I hate when men cry about how offended they are on Twitter, I hate when people spin the narrative to try to literally cancel someone. I am linking the original full interview in the description as well, but we will focus today on the most controversial part. Because there were some good questions about his career, other fighters, things actually related to the sport he is competing in. Well, liberals, of course, are not as interested in Sean's career as they are interested in his support of gay community. Let's watch the first clip.
I did want to ask, you're in Toronto. Welcome. Glad to hear it. It's been great.
Are you Canadian?
Of course I am.
Are you part of the opposition? Are you?
I don't know how to phrase that.
You got like yeah.
Well, I did want to ask.
Did you vote for Trudeau?
I'm not going to say.
And let me tell you something right now. If a man says he's not going to say, like if you ask him, did you vote for Biden? He's like, well, I'm not going to say. That's none of your business. He voted for Biden.
Sean,
so hey,
Sean, I'm glad you've had great experiences.
So this is what I'm talking about, you guys. The enemy of Canada.
Sure.
All right.
That's what it's got to be. It's got to be.
This is so true. There is another moment when he asked the right-wing journalist the same question, and we immediately hear the answer. I'm not liberal. I did not vote for Trudeau. So why do liberals have so much problem admitting they voted for LGBT Justin? Because it's embarrassing, and they know it. They know deep down that they effed up, but it's too late now. And they have to keep up this common delusion they started. People generally don't like to admit they were wrong, especially in politics. They don't like to take a step back, review, put some logic into work once in a while. That's how we get the radicals. They are either far right or far left, extreme viewpoints, blind following. But let's listen to the question that the liberal journalist asked, actually.
You've got a pretty supportive gay and lesbian community in this city. I did want to ask you about something you wrote a couple of years ago. You said, if I had a gay son, I would think I'd...
Oh, look, another, I'm saying to you, the swamp, you guys, the swamp.
You become a champion, you become a star, and someone would say...
Let me ask you something. Are you gay?
Have you had the chance to interact with a more diverse...
Let me know, are you gay?
Could I get an answer?
Well, no, I'm asking, this is a part of, are you a gay man?
I'm an ally of the community.
Okay. If you had a son and he was like, you had a son, he was gay, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem with it.
Oh man, well, dude, you're a weak fucking man, dude. You're part of the fucking problem. You elected Justin Trudeau. Like, when he sees the bank accounts, like, you're just fucking pathetic. And the fact that you have no fucking backbone, and has he shut down your country and seized bank accounts, you ask me some stupid shit like that, go fuck yourself. Move the fuck on, man.
I want to remind you, this is an interview before a big fight. There are so many things that can be asked about Sean's championship, goal, career, the fight, his training, the opponent. So many things actually related to the reason they are all gathered there. No, this offended snowflake decides it's best to ask Strickland, who again is a current champion, about what he thinks about gay and lesbian community and about comments he made in the past. Because he offended someone, he hurt someone's feelings. And I agree, you're not a man. You don't have a backbone if you are offended by anything and everything. If someone simply stating an opinion about something can totally consume you and your thoughts, ally of the community, guys. Another stupid term that they like to throw around. Because if you disagree with anything, for example, underage gender transitions, you are labeled as not an ally. Sometimes you're called a homophobe, a transphobe. To add some context for those who don't know, a user online asked Sean in the past, Sean, would you rather have a gay son or a thought daughter? Strickland replied, if I had a gay son, I would think I failed as a man to create such weakness. If I had a whore for a daughter, I'd think she just wanted to be like her dad, LOL. 1, he is obviously making a joke there. 2, he has nothing against gay people, which, by the way, he stated many times in various interviews, but those don't get nearly as much traction. He is against promiscuity. He believes in traditional gender roles. He's a fighter, a champion. If he had a son, he would probably train him and hope he would follow his footsteps. And if not, he would want to raise him to be a strong man. Sean would hope to have grandchildren in the future. We live in times where we can design our babies. We can choose the gender. We can choose what color of eyes they will have, what hair color. You can choose everything. You can literally dissect their genetics and just get rid of what you don't like and then make your baby. But the preference of not wanting to have a gay child is just off the table. It's offensive. It's ridiculous. Obviously, Strickland got a lot of hate for this comment from people who probably never heard him speak before and don't understand his sense of humor. And this dumb Canadian liberal media guy decides it's the best moment to bring it back. But there is more, listen.
That doesn't really answer the question, but I did want to ask also things you said about the trans community. You said this past October when they announced the Bud Light sponsorship that you'd go so hard on Bud Light in your next fight, they'll have to accept me or denounce me when they know what, and will know what they stand for. Are you
This guy's like, hey, this Canadian's not that Canadian.
Are you still going to use your fight time to kind of speak on that?
Here's the thing about Bud Light. 10 years ago, to be trans was a mental illness. And now all of a sudden, people like you have weaseled your way into the world. You are an infection. You are the definition of weakness. Everything that is wrong with the world is because of you. And the best thing is the world's not buying it. The world's not buying your bullshit you're peddling. The world is not saying, you know what, you're right, chicks have dicks. The world's not saying that. The world's saying, no, there are two genders. I don't want my kids being taught about, who they could in school. I don't want my kids being taught about, their sexual preference. Like, dude, this guy is the fucking enemy. You want to look at the fucking enemy to our world? It's that motherfucker right there.
Let me point out, Sean called the journalists, people who cultivate this sick agenda, are the enemy, are the infection. He did not call gay or trans people that. He said people like the liberal journalists who continuously find reasons to be offended, who glorify the LGBTQ community to the point that now it affects our kids' education, those people are the infection. They are turning our world to shit. I have spoken many times on my channel about the education level of our kids going down. The results in general knowledge, math, science show that our society is getting dumber. Education gets more expensive but less effective. And now the most important issue they are tackling is making sure kids as young as 4 know that they can have sex with anybody. And if you don't want your kids learning about consent, which is insane, because the only thing kids need to know about consent is that they can't give any, okay? No is the word that they should learn. So if you don't want your kids' innocence destroyed, you are called a bigot, homophobe, transphobe. How about we use our brains here? How about we stop tiptoeing around liberals in fear of being cancelled or called a name? Because that's what Sean Strickland is doing. He is not afraid to state his opinion. That's why he has such a huge fan base. It's refreshing to have someone unapologetic like that on the right side. Someone who is not politically correct, who is not even polite or proper. He's just who he is.
Asking these stupid fucking questions. Sorry, I told the UFC I was being nicer. Lance, am I still good with this? Did I cross any lines? A little. What the f? I didn't say the F word. You just brought this fucking guy in here to piss me off.
You just did, but just to follow up, I mean, Rick.
Did I say it?
You just did.
No, I didn't say it.
Right there, you did.
Different F word, different word. Yeah. I'm trying to be good, man. I'm trying to be good. I like the fucking gays. Everything. I've never. You guys think I've ever shit on a gay man or shit on a gay woman? I don't. I like the gays. It's fucking freedom. We still have it in America. We'll teach you about it. You guys don't have freedom of speech. I'm surprised what I'm saying is probably gonna get. I'm probably gonna get the Canadian government to arrest me. So I don't give a fuck who you fuck. I don't give a fuck what you want to do in life. But don't fucking tell kids about it. Don't teach that shit in fucking school. Don't fucking push your agenda. Don't try to fucking brainwash people. Don't try to go past parents. Don't try to go past all this shit and brainwash people, you fucking cuck.
See? He has nothing against consenting adults doing what they do. No problem at all. That's what he often highlights in his interviews, anytime the subject comes up. So the journalist, the one starring in this juicy conversation, tweeted afterwards. MMA fighter Sean Strickland called a journalist who asked about his own awful comments about having a gay son an infection, and way beyond. Strickland should be suspended from UFC 297. His language went way beyond anything remotely acceptable, and we see a picture of Strickland with a little note. Sean Strickland makes some of the most anti-gay comments by an athlete. Now that we've all listened to this confrontation, I'm pointing it out again. He did not refer to his imaginary gay son as infection. He didn't even say that about the LGBTQ community. But this a-hole is spinning the story to be the victim. And what way beyond did he say? When he said he respects and likes gay people and has no problem with adults doing what they want, and he's calling for UFC to ban him, someone tweeted a response. He really said suspended from UFC 297. MF wants a Pennington Bueno Silva main event. And this Sid Ziegler, I think that's how you pronounce this journalist's name, he tweeted back, yes, Sean Strickland deserves to be suspended from UFC 297. What he said about rejecting a gay son, given the rate of LGBTQ homelessness, isn't forgivable. The hell. I'm a huge free speech advocate, and if I were Dana White and UFC, I'd bar Strickland from competing. Unacceptable. Someone says, I wouldn't want a gay son, and somehow this spikes up the rate of homelessness amongst members of LGBTQ community. Again, Sean never said he would reject a gay son. He wouldn't hope to have a gay son. That's a different thing. So again, the journalist spins the story to fit his own narrative. It's disgusting, and maybe he is the one who should be banned. And if you look at him, if you look at his profile picture, it's hard to take whatever he says seriously. With his douchebag hat, glasses with thick pink frames, and a pink tank top pretending to be a DJ on a MacBook. That's the man who tells the other man how to be a real man, how to behave. I bet he's been called worse names than what Strickland said, like ally. Well, Twitter or X users saw through Sid Ziegler's BS. Here are some comments. Do you secretly hate the gay community? That's the only reason any sane person would make a tweet like this. It literally reads like anti-LGBTQ plus bait designed to bring ridicule to the community. You need to stop. This is what I'm talking about. The more they push this narrative of being victims, the more they ridicule the community itself. Here is a message to legit LGBT community. Your allies are actually harming you. Those most vocal, those steering shit online, those fighting to have sexual education reform in schools, those are the ones that ridicule you the most and make the world essentially turn against you. Have that in mind. Fix it. Another comment. A different view than my own. Ban him. You're not a free speech advocate. I disagree with some of his previous statements, but I'm also not soft enough to let someone's opinions hurt me. Grow up. Exactly. When did it become not okay to disagree with someone or to have a different opinion? You did your best. I suggest leaving the warriors alone if you can't take the heat and feel lucky. It was just words he threw back at you. Yep. He tried to challenge Strickland, bringing back some old comments. It completely backfired because the fans of the fighter know the way he speaks. I wish Sid Ziegler stopped there. I really do, because more pathetic stuff happened, like this tweet. I love that Strickland fans, disguising themselves as straight guys, have come after me in an attempt to make sure everyone knows how straight they are despite their straight worship of another man's body. And they are so straight. And the picture says, there is a little note on the picture in a tweet, Sean Strickland and followers share anti-gay messages as ESPN is silent. The solid argument, oh, you're secretly gay. So what if they were gay? He's tweeting as if it was an insult. You're gay yourself, Mr. Ally says. He tweeted multiple times at Strickland fans, calling them anti-gay or homophobic. How pathetic, and he's supposed to be a respectable journalist in Canada. Strickland, on the other hand, tweeted this. Hate speech isn't real. I didn't know I was fighting in North Korea. Remember people, if you disagree with a liberal, if you hurt LGBTQ members' feelings, you supposedly deserve to be cancelled. You should end your career. You should be shamed. But not to worry, Sean Strickland is going strong. People love him for his realness, for how down to earth he is, even though he's a world champion. And of course, every interview with him is interesting, to say the least, because the man is not afraid to speak. He's not afraid to offend. If you like this video, make sure to check out the full podcast episode here. And for even more content, check out my Patreon linked in the description.